Hello, everyone in Facebook land. It's Neil here at the Music Centre. I'm delighted as part of Inspiration Week to be joined by the incredible Gary Jordan.
Hi.
Hello, Gary.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
I'm
I'm
well,
doing
thanks.
all
How are you?
right. I'm doing all right. As the weather's a bit
Okay,
brighter today, so my mood is as well.
okay, that's good. Are you? Do you tend? Does your mood tend to follow the weather? Is that a thing that happens to you?
I mean, the mood swings in lockdown, isn't it? It's the same for everybody.
Yeah,
But today's a
certainly
good
is.
day, so
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I'm feeling all right today as well. Yeah, it's brighter today.
mm.
Uh, my cat was just jumping at the door trying to get back in. I'm like, it's a nice day. Stay out there. Stop harassing me. Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us and giving a bit more of your time
No
up ahead of
probs.
your workshop with us tomorrow at 1 o'clock, isn't it?
Yes, it
Talking
is.
about your life in music theatre.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've been talking a bit on these little chats about the effect on music of COVID and all those stuff, but it seems like you've been quite busy. Like, so what have you been up to in the
It's,
last kind of few months?
Well, I mean, up until COVID hit last year and sadly closed the theatre doors for a while, we're looking at it as an extended intermission.
Yeah.
But up, up until that all happened, I was playing the role of Zasu in The Lion King in London's West End. And when we reopen again, I will be going back into the show, exclusive. We'll be going back into the show. So a lot of things have come from that, really. I've done a lot of Q&As. I've done a lot of these workshop type things over Zoom. I've been hosting quizzes for the Walt Disney Company. I've been hosting quizzes for Pizza Express. I did all that kind of stuff, and it's kept me busy. It's kept me busy,
Okay.
but the best thing I think it's kept my hand into creative things, and
Mm,
that's what we all need, isn't it, to keep us going through these, I dare
through these
say it,
times.
unprecedented times.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Fed up
So
with that word.
you mentioned just then
Yeah.
Zazu in The Lion King.
Yes.
You've been there. So 3 years. Is that how long you've
Three
been
years
working?
up until we had to close down, sadly.
Okay, so 3 years ago, so nearly four then, but with
Yes.
the year's intermission, as you
Yeah,
said.
when
Yeah,
people ask me how long I've been in the show, I'm not going to know what to say anymore because we've
yeah.
had a year out, pretty much.
So
So
I mean, that's I mean, I find it fascinating because like all of our students as well, is university life is project based, isn't it? You do
yeah,
one thing, you study one thing, you move on to the next thing.
mm,
Certainly, in like I'm classically trained musician, you do one project, move to the next project, you do your essay, move to the next essay, da 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 da. It's kind of a narrative journey through life. But the musical theatre job that you have and many others do is not that you are coming back to the
mm,
same place kind of eight times a week or something
yeah,
to give your
absolutely.
absolute all. um, what's that like? What's the kind of mentality? How do you deal with that kind of, I mean, I don't know how repetitive it feels. I mean, it must be still incredibly exciting, but how do you deal with that
It's
that
still
process?
incredibly exciting every single show, and so many people ask me, does it get tedious? Does it get boring? Does it get
Mm,
repetitive? Is it a bit
mm,
samey every single day? But no, and every show is different. Every show you're going to get a different audience reaction. Every show, a different character that you're acting with on stage might say a line slightly differently, to which you have to then react slightly differently as you normally would. There could be an understudy on that you're working opposite, and it keeps it fresh. Every single show is different, and
mm,
every single show it's very important to all of us at the Lion King that every single show is completely fresh for every single audience that comes in,
mm.
and it is, and it never gets boring. I mean, I've been there, well, 3 years, as you say, with a year out, nearly four. Some of the
So
cast
are we
members are,
talking 300 shows then? More than that? How many would
oh,
that be? Who knows?
I'm an actor. My maths
Yeah.
is terrible. Um,
Yeah.
but some people in the show have been there for like 11 years. And like the
Yeah.
gentleman playing the role of Scar, right, who I understudy, so I get to play Scar every now and again, which is fab, which also keeps it fresh for me and makes it different. He's been there for 11 years, as has the guy playing Mufasa. So
Mm.
it just goes to show it's a very beautiful company to work for. It's a beautiful theatre, and it's a show that we're all extremely proud of and just never want to leave.
No, I
I'll be
bet.
getting
So
out there with the Zimmer frame, I think.
yeah. So I mean, like me, did you, when The Lion King came out as a film in
Mm,
the mid 90s, whenever it was, 92 or 93, wasn't it?
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah,
So that he'd actually had a huge impact on me as a kind of as a teenager. What are
right.
your memories of when The Lion King came out in?
I watched it obsessively.
Did you?
I watched
Okay.
it obsessively. I mean, I watched a lot
Yeah.
of Disney films obsessively, but that one especially. The music is just so incredible.
Yeah.
The story is incredible. It's all
Yeah.
about, it's if although we're all playing animals, it kind of feels very real because essentially at the heart of the story is somebody just trying to find his place in life, and
Yeah.
that's something that every single person goes through, whatever they do, and
Yeah.
it's just so truthful, you know.
Yeah. Incredibly relevant now more than ever, because we're all in
Mm.
this kind of, we could all be Simba, couldn't we, in the wilderness, couldn't we? Trying to find our
Exactly,
way. Yeah,
exactly.
right now.
I'm
And
not the right
and
casting bracket though, so I stick to
yeah,
play Zazu.
yeah. So if you could talk to your teenage self and say you were going to be Rowan Atkinson, and then John Oliver,
Yeah.
what would your younger self think? Were
Um,
you at music theatre all the way through? Were you like in school shows and everything in choirs like growing up? Were you?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, all
Yeah,
of that. I did all the youth theatre, amateur dramatics kind of stuff. I knew I got the bug very, very early on. I got my
really?
calling
Okay.
very,
Did you?
very early on.
Nice. Lovely.
I'd always wanted to play a Disney character. I didn't actually care who it was, but I think
Okay.
at the time I saw myself as more of an Aladdin or a
Okay.
not Hercules, but I
Yeah.
never thought my career would go down the character actor route, really, and
Right.
until sort of halfway through my career, and I thought, oh, hang on, this is something I can do. I can make people laugh. I can be
Mm,
funny. I need to build on this kind of thing, and started taking character roles, funny roles, and found that I was excelling more than I would have done playing Aladdin. Do
yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Was that a hard thing to accept, or was it just a kind of a sort of a slightly kind of a gradual eye-opening?
I think it was more I don't remember an actual time where I suddenly thought, hang on, the roles that I'm going to be playing in my career are not the ones that I thought I was going to be playing in my career. I think it was just a kind of gradual, your agent who puts you up for the shows can see what shows you're doing best at. They can see what roles that you're doing best at. They might be a similar role in another show if you don't get that one, etc., etc. And it just the kind of career path took me on that journey, really. Puppetry
Mm.
came into it, came into
Mm.
my life with various other jobs that I was doing. I never thought I would be a puppeteer. Yet here I am. The Lion King is a very, very heavy puppeteer show. I did Avenue Q as well, a big puppeteer show. I did some animatronic puppeteering and voiced one of the characters in CBeebies Zingzillas for 4 years. So puppetry kind of came into it, and that took me on a separate arc once again.
Mm.
And I think it's just sort of, as we say, you're going through life and you turn these corners, but you can't close yourself off to
Mm.
anything,
Mm.
at all, because you never know whether that arc, whether that journey might be something that you really want to do, or you can take
Mm.
a little bit of an arc and go, nope, I need to go back to what I thought I would, that kind of
Mm.
stuff. So
Yeah, I mean that resonates incredibly with me because before I started working at university, and still actually I'm a big music educator, so I do
yeah,
loads of music workshops all over the place. And as I was coming out of my universities and my kind of professional study and trying to make it as a classical viola player, I suddenly found music education as a thing that I could do well, that many of my
mm,
colleagues really panicked about and found incredibly stressful. And I found the kind of performance side of it incredibly difficult and incredibly stressful. And it is,
right,
it's amazing how those kind of U-turns, and you think you're going in a direction and then you realize there's another world and another way.
absolutely.
And you've got to be there to see the opportunities.
Mm,
Because if I hadn't done my training, I wouldn't have got to that place to see the opportunity, but I had to be open enough to see it when it was there as well.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's a difficult thing. Yeah, look, Gary, thanks so much. We're going to talk
Hey, no
way more
props.
about this tomorrow.
Yes.
So any of our students who get and watch this, we're doing this workshop 1 p.m. On Saturday. That's tomorrow with Gary. Really looking forward to seeing you again there, and have a really great rest of your day. What are you up to the rest of this day?
And
Have you got more work, or are you relaxing?
in the middle of redecorating my room, probably for about the fifth time during lockdown. So I've got half a painted wall, and I'm going to continue with that this afternoon. So.
Excellent work. Well, we've actually got another music theatre kind of shorter discussion with one of our students, who's also actually has had a bit of a West End career as well. So we've got that today.
Fabulous.
And we've got another vocal workshop this evening with a member of Apollo 5, the professional choir. So hopefully all our guys will be prepped. And before actually your workshop tomorrow, we've got a vocal health workshop with a vocal health specialist. So
with my friend Josh.
With your friend, do you know Josh?
I know Josh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you? Oh, fantastic.
That's another thing we'll be talking about. Yeah. We met through the choir scene, because as well as doing everything that I do, I've been a musician as well, keyboard player for many, many years.
Have you?
Okay. Yeah, and we worked on some choirs together. So
fantastic. And Adam, of course, you know Adam.
Yes,
Bloss,
Adam, again through the choir connection. Yeah.
Okay.
Adam.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, brilliant. I'm very excited now. It's all coming together. So thanks, Gary. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we will see you tomorrow.
See you all tomorrow.
All right.